Continuing in the joint lock series, all right? So far we've done Kotagaeshi, basic wrist lock. We've done Nikyo, the one that's a little bit harder to do, okay? Now we're going to talk about a basic armbar, okay? A basic armbar. Okay, so first let's examine a couple of things. So here's Gary's arm, right? Okay. So depending on Gary's position of his hand is depending on the angle I have to attack his elbow joint, okay? So if Gary's hand is like this, I'm not attacking right from the side. I have to go on a slightly upward angle this way, okay? So it's a slight angle, right? Now, when Gary's hand is this way, palm down, now I can attack directly from the side, okay? Now, when Gary's hand is this way, now I have to go on an angle that way to get him, okay? And again, when I turn him and his palm's up this way, then I can take him down with the armbar there. So if you're going to attack the elbow, you have to know the position the elbow's in. Everybody just grabs the elbow and doesn't realize, no, the angle may be this, so the angle may be this way. The angle may be this way. The angle may be this way. It may be this way. It may be this way, okay? So you've got to get a feel for that when you're attacking the elbow. Because when the angle's correct, the technique is a lot more effective, okay? Where are we attacking the elbow? Okay. The best is slightly above the point of the elbow, okay? So if I come in here, right, that's where I want to attack. Now, I can attack with the edge of my hand. I can grab like this and attack this way. I can put it into my armpit and still focus to the same spot, and that's where you'll get the most bang for your buck, just above the elbow. And you can try it just below, and you'll see Gary's able to bend his elbow. He'll bend his elbow no problem, right? I don't really have it, okay? Even if I come right on the elbow, it's more of a fight. But if I'm above it, he's got a lot more harder time doing it, okay? So I'm here. I grab. So now I put the edge of my hand on the elbow joint, which this is a harder technique. I'm going to show you an easier one, but this is a harder technique. So now I find that spot and I come down. Now, once I get to here, the way Gary's turned, in order to maintain the joint lock, I actually have to focus this way, pushing behind Gary, and that's when he feels a lot more pain, okay? So again, this is what I mean about the elbow position. You have to eventually instinctually know whatever that position is in, you know the angle to attack it at. This is why most people aren't good at joint locks. They don't take the time to check and figure it out. They want to rush through, okay, and they don't slow it down and figure it out. You figure it out, you begin to get a sense of touch. So people like Wally J, very famous Jujutsu sensei, right? Again, he'd say touch. You have to get that touch, that feeling, the sensitivity in your hands. Different people say it differently, okay? So you know exactly, just as soon as I grab him, I know if he stiffens up, I know the angle I have to take the elbow, okay? You know it and you learn it instinctually. And the only way you do that is you have to pressure test a little bit. And with the elbow, it's a little bit easier to pressure test. The Nikyo, that's a little dangerous. It's easy to hurt the guy's wrist. You can pressure test. You know, Gary can start to resist and bend his elbow, and I can figure out the angle to turn him and get him down anyway, okay? So, angle, direction of attack, direction of pressure on the elbow joint, very important, okay? So, if I can use my forearm too, right? So, we look here, right? We got Nahanshi, right? So we're here, right? We got Seiyuchin, right? Here, right? So you see these are in the form, right? So now if I want to control him, right, this could be an arm break, right? I mean, we can always break the joint, okay? It's not as easy as you think, but you can always do it. And this is here, right? But now if I want to control, now what I do is I roll his arm. So you see the hand is rolling like that, right? As I roll like that, you see what happens is his other shoulder goes back. So if we back up a little bit, as I do that, you see his other shoulder goes back, right? And now what's he looking to do? Gary just reacted the way the criminals would react. They think they're going to hit the floor, they reach down to catch themselves. That's what we want, because why? Now the other hand's occupied with him worrying about hitting the floor, right? So once I'm here and I roll the arm, I get him into a good position. Now I step through and drop my weight. Now my weight and my good technique is on the elbow joint, and now I have him. And again, the angle, you have to know the angle. Like Gary knows right here, I got that angle locked in, okay? Again, you can do this against a punch. You can do it against the lapel grab we just did. You can do it against the shoulder grab we just did, where I come up and I bring him into, I bring his elbow, I bring his elbow into my armpit, and now I cover here, and now I have this technique. And then this technique is, so this technique, the mistake a lot of people do when they, first off, let me just mention, this joint lock, where I put his elbow into my armpit, I never had a criminal get out of, ever, okay? Limp. See, you see I have to keep telling him limp? Because he resists, he starts to resist. And I like it when they resist, because that resistance is what gives me the power to control them. It hurts him more when he resists, right? So if I just hold him here and don't do anything, and Gary starts to fight it, if he starts to fight the elbow, good, bend your elbow, he's going to tell you it starts to hurt him. But I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is holding it. But when I add, then he really doesn't like it. So you want it to be limp. So you got to figure out the spot here. All right, now, here's one of the things we see a lot of people do. They do this. This is equalizing the power. Limp. Limp, it won't hurt, right? Equalizing the power. So now when I go down like this, there's no pain. He can use his other hand to reach my leg, whatever he wants to do, okay? But what I want is I stay upright and he goes down. So I take this elbow and again, I touch my obi. So I've got him here. I bring my elbow to my obi. He doesn't like it. And then I sink. This is one of the few instances where I would use Seiyuchin stance in fighting, when I had this armbar. Because he tries to stand up, he can't. He can't. The pain is excruciating, okay? Again, do it fast, you can break the joint, okay? So slower, not slower, but you learn control, you can do it as a controlling technique, okay? For those of you in law enforcement, you want to learn the controlling aspect. And then what you have to do is, and I'll do this in future videos, you have to learn how to, from these positions, move into a handcuffing position. So now you still have him where he's in control, and now you're able to get him in handcuffs, okay? So we can come up underneath here. I have the arm lock. So you've got to play around with the different positioning, all right? I can come here and push him out, and I have the joint lock, okay? And right now we're talking about a straight arm bar, meaning we're attacking the arms straighter, we're attacking. And what are we doing? We're creating levers, right? So I've got him here, right? Here's, right? And now I just do that. I push this hand up, bring this elbow down, and that makes him go down. That's what creates the power, all right? So very, very powerful armbar. We see it. It's in the kata. If you look around, you'll see it, okay? You see it all over, all right? Sometimes an elbow strike isn't an elbow strike. It can be an arm bar too, all right? Again, we want to limit. People like to limit. Oh, no, that's just an elbow strike. No, it's not. It can be all kinds of things, and it should be all kinds of things. So again, the angles, very important, all right? The place where you press an attack, very important. So you've got to figure that out. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. Figure out the proper angles. When you figure out the proper angles and you start mastering this technique and becoming proficient at it, then you'll begin to realize just how many different ways you can use this armbar, all right? So try that, okay? Again, with all these joint techniques, you feel pain, tap. That has to become instinctual, all right? 2 reasons. Person taps, we know to let go. Nobody out there taps. So it's not like you're going to let go out there because he's never going to tap. He's going to scream, okay? He's going to yell, but he's not going to tap, all right? And you lock it out, okay? Human body's very tough, so we may think, oh yeah, I'll break his arm, no problem. You'd be surprised. It's not so easy to break an arm, okay? Yeah, of course it can be done, all right, but it's not so easy, all right? So take your time with all these joint locking videos. The key is slow and steady, develop the ability. Don't rush through them, okay? You want to be good at them, you got to work at it. You're not going to be good at them if you don't spend any time working on them. I spent a lot of time on them because I was in law enforcement, and I had plenty of senior Ishinru senseis come in and say, oh, those don't work. And then when they left my dojo, they had a very different opinion, okay? Because again, they don't work because they're doing them, their students are resisting and they don't know how to counter the resistance. Well, right, okay, but these techniques are in every martial art. So if they're in every martial art, they must have value, all right? So work the armbar and we'll see you in the next joint locking video. Thanks.